So we found the perfect recipe to growing a company really fast.
My philosophy is to mitigate the highest risks first in any company I work with.
Sort of stumbled into founding a company called Unity 14 or so years ago, right?
The whole purpose of Nordic Growth Hackers is to talk about growth and the tools for growth from many different perspectives. It's always going to be super specific, because that's what's interesting. It's always going to be super specific to the specific company, and you will draw conclusions from that rather than from overall statements.
I think we use the traditional sales model very much in order to penetrate into new markets, where we go into very specific targeted segments.
Founders have been really happy to host Nordic Growth Hackers tonight.
Part of my job is actually to meet interesting people within the startup community in Copenhagen. So for that reason, it's good networking.
Once we finish with the speakers and go to the pizza, you hear all kinds of talk coming up.
Talked about things like democratizing business, and I think that was really what drove us and why we wanted to make that company.
GoMore chose to launch our concepts outside of Denmark in Scandinavia first, Sweden and Norway.
I feel sometimes that new startups put way too much effort into analyzing very small numbers.
One of the most important growth hacks we have done is probably a few years back when we did early integration with Facebook.
We had a very important launch, and we discovered that the supply chain could not follow through and deliver the desired quantities for the sales orders that we had.
I believe a lot in the concept of paratroopers. When you start to have big organizations, you find some of the best people out there in the organization.
The core of the event is going to remain the same. Find interesting people that have specific concrete stories about growth, but try to vary the form so that in itself is a growth hack and makes it interesting to come again and again.
I think this is a great initiative, even though I don't really like this term growth hacking. I really hated it when it came out.